Shri Gurubhyo Namah Harihi Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So yesterday we were seeing through the Shadvida Tatparya Linga, through the 6 pointers for the purport of the text. We have established this 40th chapter. Leave alone the 39 chapters. They belong to karmas. But this 40th chapter is a special chapter which belongs to jnana. We have established that through the 6 pointers. Now, the opponent, the same Purimivamsaka, the person who wants to follow the karma philosophy, he says, see, you can say it, but there is a rule. What is the rule? The rule is there is sadhaka tarka, there is badhaka tarka. There are logic which establish what you understand. There are logic which negate, refute what you understand. Okay, so you have to have some supporting logic, and you should not have a refuting logic. Let us say, when you see something, you don't hear through the sense organ of hearing, you don't see the object, but you hear the sound. So what is this logic? I don't understand. Simply said, when you see someone, you are not sure, am I seeing real or what? Yes, it's real. You pinch yourself, you beat yourself to make sure that you are seeing, you are not hallucinating, right? Similarly, there should be another proof to establish that this what you say is right. If without that proof, this is not right. Simply said, if you are saying that this jnana, the knowledge of the self is the truth, then, and it is not useful for the karmas, it is not part of karmas, then that idea should be supported by someone. Otherwise, what is the use? We say, okay, we understand what your problem is. We say, in Gita or in Moksha Shastra, in other Moksha Shastras, this is what is said. What is said in Gita? I'll give you the proof. He says, Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam maheshwaram. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu. One who is existing everyone in equanimity. That Maheshwara. That is something which you understood wrongly. There is some other meaning probably. Or this by mistake someone said something like that. Okay, one is a mistaker. Two cannot be mistake, right? So, some same Gita, he says, Eka eva hi bhutatma bhute bhute vyavasthitah. The one and the same Bhuta Atma Vastu Swarupa. Bhuta means not Bhutatma means not the elements, living beings. Bhutatma means Vastu Swarupa. That one is which is existing in each of the beings. So you have proof. Not just that in Moksha Shastra, the other text, it says very clearly that ekadha bahudha chaiva drishyate jala chandravat. Ekadha bahudha chaiva, of one form, of multiple forms. This is the only self which is perceived as one and multiple. How can one be seen as multiple? Jalatan chandravat, like a water moon. Don't understand. See, there is only one moon, but it is reflected in, it has multiple reflections in water. Reflected reflection philosophy, Bimba Pratimavada, clearly establishes this. So, okay, I understand, but there is another problem. What is the problem? If you say the self is a Shuddha, Apapa Viddha, without Punya and Papa, it is pure, it is a Akri, etc., activities, etc., then why will somebody be interested in performing the karmas? Therefore, karma uchiti means a complete destruction of the karma kanda will take place. What you say is true. If you understand what you understand is true, what you say is true. But that is not so. There is no pause, because only for the people who have the knowledge of the teaching in the Upanishad, only for them these karma kandas are apramana, not for everyone. Only for the people who understand the Upanishad Atma Siddhanta, the Upanishad Atma philosophy, only for them this karma kanda is, because karma and jnana don't sync. How can you say for these people the karma is valid, for these people the karma is not valid? How can you differentiate between people? You are trying to act smart. Okay, I'll give an example from your own Vedas. Okay, now Veda says, na himsyat sarva bhutani, na himsyat sarva bhutani, no living being should be troubled. There should be no violence against any living being. That is what is the meaning of the statement. And this one statement the Buddhists took and made it their own, and they troubled so many people. They did a lot of violence. All the philosophies which are talking today about non-violence and love and all that were very violent philosophies earlier. So this na himsyat sarvabhutan, is it a part of Vedas or not? It's a part of Vedas. Do you accept it or not? Yes, I accept it. Then how can you perform the yaga called pashu yavada? Jyotishtoma pashu malabhe. There is a statement from the Veda which says, through the Jyotishtoma yaga, you have to use the pashu, the cattle, as the sacrifice. So what you have to do is, you have to cut the avadyati, atha jihvayaha, atha hridaye, like that. There are portions, heart portion, tongue portion, etc. You have to take from the cow. Only that portion you use in the yaga, fire oblation, and the rest you don't make biryani. You put it in a pit and then cover it. What in the pit which is dug for dumping the wastages. At least here there is only one cow. In kapinjalan ejeta, there is another statement from the Vedas which says kapinjalan. Kapinjalan means doves. Dove, kapinjala, kapinjalan, plural, that doves. Minimum of 3 doves should be used. So you are doing himsa yourself, violence yourself, and you are saying, I accept Vedic statement of no violence against any being. No. You have to understand, the violence we are talking is bahir Veda, beyond the scope of Veda. Wait, that is also not true. Then there is a statement in Veda itself which clearly says, shenena bhicharanya jeta, a shena yaga called shena yaga. Shena yaga says that when you perform this yaga, then your enemy will be destroyed. Shena yaga, you are performing that yaga, that's abhichara yaga. It's a kind of voodoo, black magic yaga. So you are performing that Shena yaga only to destroy your enemy. It is prescribed in the Vedas. So how can you say bahir Veda? It is a part of bahir Vedi. It's a part of Vedi. Vedi means the place of fire oblation. It's a part of it. No. You have to understand. We are talking about this Shena yaga is for people who have anger issues, and who is angry towards his enemy. He is a person who cannot be consoled. He says, even if I lose one eye, my enemy should lose both eyes. That is what. There's no choice here. So for that fellow, even after saying, okay, see, you can perform, you are so arrogant and adamant, you can perform this yaga to destroy your enemy, but wait, there is a star there, TNC applied. What is the TNC? You will go to hell. If you are ready for that, you can perform, and this fellow will do that. So we say, this opponent says, see, we do accept no non-violence against every living being, but still for the yaga it is acceptable. But we are negating the for the people who are performing the shena yaga, etc. Only for them we are negating. So if that is the case for you, for us also, for people who accept the Vedic injunction of jnana, no injunction really. So the Vedic teaching of jnana, for them the karma is not pramana. For others, the karma is pramana. Simple. Over. Okay, you win. But still, you have to understand, not everyone can perform the karmas, because in the 6th chapter of the 12 chapters of Purvamamsa, 12 chapters basically, then they added 4 more chapters, which is 16 chapters. Purvamamsa, like Brahma Sutra has 4 chapters, each has 4 padas. Purvamamsa has also Mimamsa Sutra, which has 16 chapters, 12 plus 4. Okay. Now, in the 6th chapter, the Arthitva Samarthitva is explained. One who has the knowledge, intellect, the idea that I am Arthi and I am Samarthi. I am qualified, I desire and I qualify. Both should be there. Just your desire is not enough, just your qualification is not enough. You have to have desire and you have to have qualification. What is it desire? What is Arthitva means? What is desire means? Desire for Swarga, heaven. Swarga kamo yajeta. Shruti says, Swarga kamo yajeta. Desire for rain. Kari rishtya yajeta. Desire for sun. Putra kameshtya yajeta. There are, for every desire, there is a karma. So, Arthitva, you have to have the desire. Then Samarthitva, you have to have the wherewithal. You have to be initiated in sacred thread ceremony. You have to initiated in the fire oblation systems, mantras, and you have to have received Agni Adhana, we call it. You have to have received the fire from the one who practices it. Normally, nowadays, people are initiated in sacred thread. The Brahmins themselves are though initiated in sacred thread, they are using it only for scratching their back, nothing else. They don't perform any karma. They are not eligible. So, if Brahmin himself then are not eligible, according to the Shastras, whoever is called a Shudra, he is not eligible because he does not have fire. Okay, simple. Now, this eligibility, this Arthitva, desire and then the eligibility, both are necessary if you want to gain the result. Because if you have the desire and you don't have the eligibility and still if you perform, because Sanga Upanga, we call it, it should be with all the limbs. No limb should be unchecked. Every box should be checked. Okay, this is necessary. Okay, this is necessary. Everything should be tick, 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 right. No box should be unchecked. If a box is unchecked, then that is viguna, vigata guna, meaning it does not have a complete prerequisites, eligibility. That kind of karma will not give results proper. Like they said, all these, the app called Signal, the app called weather.com, the app called this and that, every thing which talks about the climate today said that it is going to rain heavily at 2:45. Some fellow said 2 o'clock, 1:30. Now the time is 4:40. And we don't have rain yet. And I'm sweating. This is not rainwater. This is sweat. Now, this is the situation. If you don't perform the karmas with all the wherewithals, even though you desire the result, you will not get the result. Okay? So, Arthi, Samarthi. Arthi, desire, Samarthi, eligibility. Both should be there. Okay? Just both these one. The idea that I am Arthi and I am Samarthi, I am eligible, I am qualified, this should be, I desire and I qualify, this should be also there. That is called as Abhimana. If you, and Abhimana, where does this Abhimana, Ahankara, ego comes? I desire, I am qualified to enjoy that, to perform that karma and experience that result. Where does this ego come from? Because of the wrong knowledge, mithya jnana. Simple. Not having the knowledge that I am the self. So you start the desire, etc. So therefore, You say this karma, this atma jnana, atma yathatmik jnana, the knowledge of the true knowledge of the self, the inherent nature of the self, is neither part of a karma, a limb of a karma, nor is it a contradictory with any other pramana. So this Upanishad talks about this self. Okay. And what will be the use of the self? See, immediately he says this Atma Jnana destroys the Swabhavika Ajnana. Atma Jnana destroys the Swabhavika Ajnana. That is the statement in the Bhashya. Atma Vishaya Jnanam Swabhavika Ajnanam Nivartayati. Now, very good. Atma Vishaya Jnanam Swabhavika Ajnanam. Swabhavika, this Swabhavika Ajnanam. Ajnana, natural Ajnana. Normally, if you translate it like that is how you translate. But Swabhavika is a beautiful word which is a loaded. Swabhava means a natural. There are two reasons to say Swabhava. Swabhava is natural. Swabhava means avidya karya. Anadi avidya. Swabhava means anadi avidya. Ikach, swabhavika. When you say swabhavika, anadi avidya karya. When you add ikacha, swabhavat bhava iti swabhavikaha. Swabhave bhava iti swabhavikaha, like that. So that which is because of the swabhava, that is swabhavika. That which is because of the anadi avidya. When you say anadi, there should be no question. Similarly, when you say swabhava, there should be no question. What does that mean? Swabhava means natural. Like it is natural for the fire to produce heat and light. You cannot ask, how does the fire produce heat and light? It is natural. It's its nature. When you say nature, you cannot question. Similarly, swabhavika. When you say swabhava, there is no question. Anadi, once you say anadi avidya, first when the ignorance came, there is no first. When you say anadi, time immemorial, beginningless, there is no question there. Right? Similarly, swabhavika jnam, this ignorance, which is because of this ignorance, which is because whatever is the effect of ignorance, which is because of the ignorance, which is natural, this knowledge destroys that. This Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana, Brahma Vidya, whatever you call, it destroys that. Okay, so understand, first the knowledge comes, then later the ignorance is destroyed. First the knowledge comes, then later the ignorance is destroyed. First the knowledge comes, then later, underline later, the ignorance is destroyed. Okay? Now, this idea, first the knowledge comes and then later the ignorance is destroyed, is completely false, stupid. Because ignorance is not going to wait after the knowledge comes in. Once the knowledge dawns, ignorance is destroyed at that very moment, not later. For example, there is darkness in the room. You take a light inside the room, a lamp inside the room. What happens? This fellow came with a lamp. I was here very happily for so long. Now wait. I have to go now. Does the darkness wait for some time after the light comes? No. Immediately the light enters, darkness goes away. Similarly, the knowledge enters, ignorance goes away. There is no waiting period here. Okay. Now this is the sadhana. This Atma Jnana is the sadhana, is the means for the destruction of shoka and moha. Tatra ko moha ka shoka ekatvam anupashyata. We saw yesterday as the result. Where is the delusion? Where is the sorrow for one who understands the identity, the non-dual self? Moha, the delusion, which is the avarana. Shoka is the sorrow, which is vikshepa. There is no avarana shakti, there is no vikshepa shakti for one who understands the non-duality. Okay, this knowledge is the means for gaining that state. So once you say that, now Bhagavan Bhashyakara concludes this Sambandha Bhashya saying the Adhikar, the eligible seeker, the Abhideya, he calls it. The prayojana, the vishaya, the subject matter, then the prayojana and the sambandha, vāsyamidaṃ, we are going to comment upon it. Who is the adhikari? Who is the eligible seeker? For the karma kanda, a person who desires swarga is swarga kama, moksha kama, swarga kama, or ishti kama, or putra kama, he is the eligible. A person who desires swarga, a person who desires rain, or a person who desires sun, all these fellows are eligible. But here, a person who desires moksha, a person who desires jnana is the eligible seeker. Mokshechuhu, mukshu, jnanechuhu, jigyasu. Mukshu or jigyasu is the eligible person here for this text. Okay. Abhideya. What is the vishaya here? Subject matter here. The subject matter of karma kanda is karma jnana and its phala. That is the subject matter. Here, the subject matter is jnana. Brahma. Brahma is not Brahma Jnana and its result. Brahman itself is the knowledge and result. There, Karma Jnana and its application result. There is division between knowledge and result. Here, Brahman itself is knowledge and Brahman itself is the result. That is the prayojana here. Okay. Then third, prayojana. What is the use? The use is for the other fellow, the result is the Swarga, heaven, etc. Here, the result is only one. There, Swarga, etc. It can be anything. Swarga, sun, etc. Anything can be a result. The destruction of your enemy also can be a result. But here, there is only one result, like moksha, over. Only one result. If you desire moksha, that is the only result. We are not going to give you any other result other than moksha. We are not interested in anything else. Okay? Now, sambandha. Sambandha can be anything according to the relationship which we are talking about. Prayojana, prayojaka, grāḥya, grāḥaka, etc. So, prapya, prapaka, etc. So, this is the one which we are going to start now. The Upanishad starts proper. The Upanishad proper starts now. First mantra. Isha vāsyamidaṃ sarvaṃ yatkiṃ jagatyāṃ jagat tena tyaktena bhuñjīthā ma gṛdhaḥ kasya sviddhanam. Isha vāsyamidaṃ sarvaṃ yatkiṃ jagatyāṃ jagat tena tyaktena bhuñjīthā ma gṛdhaḥ kasya sviddhanam. Isha vāsyamidaṃ sarvaṃ. Isha vāsyamidaṃ sarvaṃ. These four words. This is the reason we are studying this Upanishad. These four words are the reason this is called as Upanishad and we are studying this. Is it such great statement? Yes. Isha vāsyamidaṃ sarvaṃ. Atma eva idam sarvam. Atma eva idam sarvam. Idam sarvam yadayam atma. Tattvamasi. This is a Mahavakya. All this is Isha. That is what is this statement saying. All this is the Atma. Whatever you see here is Atma. There is nothing other than self. That is what is the statement. Isha means self. Vasya means existence. Sarvam, all this. Idam sarvam, all this. Everything is existence of Ishvara, the self. Everything means yatkiṃ, whatever it may be. Jagatyāṃ, jagat, whatever you call as the world. The one which is animate, non-animate, inanimate. The Stavara, Jangama, or Chetana, sentient, inert. Whatever you call. Everything is Ishvara. Everything is a self. By that Ishvara, by that self, everything is a achadanim. You have to achadanim means you have to see the self in everything. Achadana means to cover. You have to cover everything with the self. Means you have to look everything as self. Understand everything to be self. Tena, with that kind of knowledge, tyaktena, you have to give up the association with the names and forms. Tyaga, tyaktena, tyagena. Through that tyaga, because the Upanishads very clearly say, त्यागे नैके अमर्तत्वमानशो न कर्मणा न प्रजया धनेन त्यागे नैके अमर्तत्वमानशो, not through the karma, not through the praja, not through the dhana, not through the karmas, not through the son progeny, not through the wealth, you can gain that self. The self can be gained only through the tyaga, only through the non-attachment, detachment. Okay, renunciation. So he says, tyagena bhuñjīthā, tena tyaktena bhuñjīthā. Tyaktena, by giving up, enjoy. Bhuñjīthā is not enjoy. Normally, bhuñjīthā is enjoy. Here it is not enjoy. It is a palita. Have this idea. Follow this idea. Protect this idea that everything is self. Otherwise, it is a tyaktena, by giving up, enjoy. Means like you remove the skin of the banana, plantain, and eat the plantain. Similarly, here you give up the, that's a stupid statement, that's a stupid idea. Okay, so you have to give up the attachment, association with, and be established in the self, the idea that everything is self. Okay, ma gṛdhaḥ, don't have any attachment, any desires. Gṛdhaḥ means akanksha, desire, attachment. Kasya sviddhanam, anybody's wealth. Because even after saying everything is self, wealth, immediately think there is a star. No. Wealth here is a pointer to everything. Okay, the whole world, the animate and inanimate world. So don't be attached to, don't desire anything. Magra. Or don't desire. How can you desire? Kasya sviddhanam. Whose wealth is it? It is. When you say everything is self, where is the wealth different from the self? In the world, you can say, there is a statement in Hindi. The Hindi fellows very joyfully quote this. पैसा तो भगवान नहीं है, मगर भगवान से कम नहीं है. Money is not the God, but it is not less than the God also. We are not. When you say everything is God, how can the money be different from God? You understand? So don't desire for that. Don't have any expectations over that. That is the idea. Now, that is the meaning of the statement. Everything is engulfed by Ishvara. Therefore, with this idea established clearly, give up the attachment to the world of a name and form, and don't have any expectations with this world. Okay. Isha vāsyam. Isha is the first word. Isha aishvarye, from the root word Isha aishvarye. I am going through this Isha aishvarye etc. root words for a very valid reasons. We have to understand from where it is coming and hitting us, because the opponents, when you don't have a clear knowledge, very established knowledge, the opponent's ideas will disturb you. Now, when you are absolutely clear, no one can instill any doubt in you. So, Isha Aishwarya is the root word. Isha Aishwarya. Aishwarya means glory. So, everything is knowledge, desire, his actions, everything is glory of Ishvara. Okay? Aishwarya, that is the root word. From that, with that Isha word, there is a suffix which comes, which is called as quip, kartari, quip. There is a sutra called kartari, quip. This quip comes. When you add a suffix or a prefix, natural, un, unnatural. When you add a proverb, unnatural, changes the meaning, right? So similarly, when you add a suffix, it should have to bring in some other new word, but this does not do anything. The script comes and it goes. Sarvapahara lopa, we say. It completely gets destroyed, disappears. So this Isha, script comes and goes, you still have Isha word. Why did you bring in this quip. If it doesn't do anything, physically it does not do anything, but it is ruining it mentally. Meaning, Isha, the word now became a kṛdanta word, meaning a pada which can be used. When you process a little bit, it can be used as a pada. So it gives it a validity. That is what this quip does. Okay, kartari, quip in the sense of a person who acts. Passive, not active, not passive, active. Kartari. Okay, now. So then in the third case, Isha, eat plus a, eat becomes eat. Eat plus a Isha. Okay, that is the declension. How Isha came. Isha. Now, who is Isha? Isha is Parameshwara, Paramatma, the absolute self. He is the one who is the ruler. Ishita means the ruler of everything. The indweller, being the indweller, he is the ruler of everything. But wait. There is a problem. The opponent says, what is your problem? The problem is, you said kartari quip, right? Yes. The quip in the sense of kartari, in the sense of active. Yes, I said that. But wait, there can be no action possible. Why? Because yesterday you said Brahma, the word Brahman is something which is inactive, nirguna. Because that is the first thing we said, Namidam. We said that Karna Brahma, the causal self, is nirakara, which does not have form, nirguna or nishkala, without any attributes, formless, attributeless. We said yesterday. So that which does not have form, that which does not have a action, attributes, cannot have any action. So how can you bring in kartari, the action there in the verb? We say no problem. What you say is true, but if you understood so much yesterday's class, congratulations, very good. But I also said with respect to the self, akashavat sarvagatascha nitya, like ether, like space, this is all pervading. And with reference to space, I brought in two examples: pot space, room space. So, like room and pot are as though embodiments of the all-pervading space. Similarly, with the embodiment of Maya Upadhi, this fellow becomes Ishvara, the ruler. Great escape. You escaped one problem, but you entered from the pan to the fire directly. How? You said the Maya Upadhi makes him the ruler. Ruler can be there only when there is something to be ruled. There is a ruler ruled. Ishita, Ishitavya. Ruler and the ruled. Okay, so don't you see duality? How can I rule myself? I cannot rule myself. I should have to have someone to be ruling. For me to rule, I have to have someone else who has to be ruled. So there is duality. You are talking about non-duality and you fell into the class of duality. For that we say no. Though the doubt is valid, but still our answer is no. There is no duality here, because this self is this Atma is the one who is the Pratyagatma, the inner self, the one's own self in every being. Sarvajantunam Pratyagatmataya Atma eva tishtati. Bhagavan Bhashikara says, Sarvajantunam Atmasan Pratyagatmataya. So, in all the beings, this is the one which exists as the self, one's own self. So, in that form of being the self of every being, the Atma becomes the ruler. And with that idea, this Isha, you have to understand this with this idea, Achadriyam, you have to perceive everywhere. Achadriyam means to cover, meaning to perceive everywhere. Like, I'll give an example. How can one self be seen in multiple? I gave an example. Drishyate Jalachandravati. If you forgot that example, I'll give you another example. Drishyate Adarshavati. Like in a mirror, in front of the broken mirror, you are standing up. Whatever activity you are doing will be seen in all the pieces of the mirror. There is no real duality. In reality, there is no duality. It is imagined duality. Okay, according to the, but if I turn my head towards the right, the mirror also is going to do the same thing. Turn towards left, right? Yeah, what you said is right. But if the mirror is broken in concave or convex or has dirt and non-dirt, etc., you are going to see the same thing in different styles. So this is what is happening here also. There is no real duality. Reflected reflection is the problem. Okay. Therefore, everything, everyone is nothing but self. Everything, everyone is nothing but self. But because of the erroneous knowledge, I see the non-self in everything, including myself. So, therefore, you, with the knowledge that everything is self, you have to engulf everything. This is what is said in Tattvamasi, etc. Mahavakyas. But now this fellow called Madhvacharya, he is a follower of the school of duality. Dualist. Okay. This fellow, he comes and says, wait, there's a problem. You interpreted it wrongly. So what is the right interpretation? Isha Vasyam, the word should be broken as Isha Avasyam. Ishasya Avasyam. This one word, it's a samasa, compound word. When you break it, it will be Ishasya Avasyam. When you compound it, it becomes Ishasya. The seer drops. Isha plus Avasyam. A plus A. Akasavarna dirgha. Simple sandhi. Isha Vasyam. Okay, go on. I'm listening. Isha Avasyam. Avasyam. Vasa. What is the root word vasa? Vasa achadane. Vasa to wheel, to engulf. This fellow comes and says vasa nivase. There is another root word. That is why you have to understand the root words. Vasa achadane, vasa nivase. There is a complete difference. We'll understand the difference here. Like in the difference in Yoga Sutra. Yoga, what does yoga mean? Yujir yoge, there is one sutra, root word, and another one is yujir samadho. Both the forms will be yoga, but samadhi is the first meaning and yoga is a union. Instead of samadhi, if you understand union takes two. Duality. The whole idea of yoga will be lost. Similarly, instead of taking vasa achadane to engulf, to see it intertwined, if you are going to see it as a avasa, nivasa, staying place, then the whole idea is lost. So that is what he is bringing. Vasa achadane. With this root word, isha means everything is a everywhere. Isha is the one who is Ishvara. The God is the one who has entered, who is residing in every being. Where do you get this? See, Isha Avasyam. That is itself a stupidity. First stupidity. Why? Because there are great amounts of checks and balance in Vedas. Vedas is not a text in like in other religions or philosophies. It is a very strict, very coded system. You cannot do any mistake. There is no mistake possible. Whether it is intonation or whether it's a word, you cannot make any mistakes. How can you be so sure? Because there are different levels of recitation. First, there is called a samhita patha, where you will be taught Isha vāsyamidaṃ sarvaṃ. Then there is pada patha, where every word will be broken. Isha iti Isha, pada vasyam iti vasyam, like that. Every word will be broken. And then there is Kramapata. Isha vasyam vasyam Isha 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 vasyam idam idam Isha vasyam vasyam idam idam sarvaṃ, like that. There is a gradation, progression. And there is Ghanapata, where the progression becomes 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, like that. There is a very strong progression. There can be no mistakes. No mistakes, absolutely. Whether the intonation or the words. Okay? Now, in that Padapatha, where you break each word, Isha Vasim is not seen as a compound word. Isha is an independent word. Vasyam is an independent word. Therefore, this idea of bringing a compound word there is a stupid. First error I said. The second error. Tena tyaktena bhuñjīthā. Tena tyaktena bhuñjīthā. Now, since everything is a tena, everything is creation of Ishvara, whatever he gave, by giving them up, enjoy it. How can you give up and enjoy? Tyaga and bhoga are completely contradictory. It is impossible for anyone to give up and enjoy. If he enjoys, he cannot give up. If he gives, he cannot enjoy. And he wants us to give up and enjoy. Second, so to hide one mistake, another mistake. To hide one lie, another lie. That is what is the cycle of lie. So this is the problem of Madhvacharya, the dualist. There is a group called semi-dualist, Vishishtadvaitin, who want to establish this as something which is praising Vishnu. So he says Isha means Vishnu. Biggest problem there itself, he fails. First word itself, he fails. Why? Because the word Isha, there are different kinds of meaning. There is a Rudha. Rudha means a fixed meaning. Then there is a Yoga, implied meaning, kind of. Okay, so a word pot means it is this object. Fixed meaning. When I say pot, then I mean something else. Then that is a yoga meaning. That is not a rudha meaning. Do you understand? So similarly here, when I say Isha, it only means Parameshwara, Shiva. Now, when there is a direct meaning, it is said very clearly. Mayam tu prakritim vidyat mayinam tu maheshwaram. Shweta Sharupneshwar. Mayinam tu maheshwaram. The magician is Maheshwara. So, when there is a direct meaning, resorting to some other implied meaning or indirect meaning is useless. So, there itself he fails. So, now we have to understand through this knowledge, us being the self, we have to engulf the whole thing, the whole creation, the creation of a inert and a non-inert, inert and sentient. Okay? Now, we'll see this tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.